This was one stop on a journey that I could have never predicted. A journey that began with a blank sheet of paper and a missed deadline. Around 6 months ago, I was absolutely determined to become an orientation leader for the Ohio State University. I thought it'd be great to be able to tour prospective students around and get people excited about a university that had given me so much. Unfortunately, it was when I was putting all my efforts into that application that I overlooked a minor detail: the deadline. No, it was not due at midnight, it was due at 5 p.m. So Friday, I had missed the deadline. I spent the weekend anxiously trying to beg the right people to accept a late application. But by Monday, I had faced the facts. I was no longer going to become an orientation leader, and I had a new journey to set out on. That journey became the Driven, an 8,344-mile road trip around the country, interviewing roughly 140 social change makers, asking them about their passions, what drives them to make a difference, what steers them through life, what fuels their fire. It took place over the course of 7 weeks and around 29 stops. It was a journey that has changed my life. A journey that can be seen at thedriven.weebly.com, and a journey that on a map looks something like this, starting in Ohio, going all the way up to Seattle, down the entire coast to San Diego, and back to Cincinnati. A journey that on a map looked like this, but in reality was more like this, living by Eleanor Roosevelt's quote, "Do one thing every day that scares you." This, to me, was interpreted as a challenge to embrace new experiences. To me, it led me places like camping in Montana, in the middle of the woods, when I wasn't exactly sure if a bear could smell the donuts in the car, or going surfing in San Diego. Maybe not the best surfer out there, but it was a good experience. Or going on a challenging hike in the Grand Canyon. When I remembered Eleanor Roosevelt's quote, I remembered to do things that challenged myself, to embrace the unexpected. Another thing I set out on was this challenge, to stay in 0 hotels. Over the course of 7 weeks, going around the country, I had a new blank slate ahead of me. Where was I going to stay? I reached out to friends, to family friends, talked to friends of friends like Teresa in Kansas City or Christine in Rapid City, South Dakota. And then when in doubt, I had a tent, just in case. It led me to places like camping, on the side lawn of friends' houses in Iowa, and meeting people like Mina and George in Santa Barbara. For the one night I was with my dad, traveling from San Francisco to Los Angeles, we stopped by Santa Barbara. We happened to go to a Shabbat service on a Friday night, and we met these people, George, who had immigrated from Iran nearly 30 years ago, and Mina, who had immigrated from Israel nearly 50 years ago. They taught me things through simple conversations that my peers at Ohio State could have never shared with me. They shared with me their experiences, the things that they had been through, that have forever impacted my life. And then there are people like Dylan. Dylan's not exactly featured in this picture, but he is the owner of that yurt in the corner. That yurt with no running water and no electricity. Dylan lives a lifestyle a little different than mine, and most of yours most likely. But he again taught me the value of embracing who you are as an individual. The value that it's okay to do things even if it's a little against the norm. When we were with Dylan, yet again, experiencing conversations that have impacted me every day since this experience. When I was with my cousin Megan, traveling at the time, we had the pleasure of staying on that mattress on the top of that school bus in the middle of the New Mexico mountains underneath the beautiful stars for 2 nights. Something that I wasn't expecting. You see, a large part of my journey was determined because of the first half. The first half, when I was meeting people, talking with people, interviewing people in Seattle, like my friend Phil, who connected me then later on with his friends growing up, like Dylan in New Mexico. A large part of my journey was determined because of the first part. This all led to this idea of social capital. So what is social capital? Social capital is placing value in relationships. It's understanding that yes, there's capital, Capital means finances, assets, something that can be found in a wallet, traditionally viewed. But social capital understands that it's worth investing in relationships, investing in conversation. To me, social capital creates a community which strives to help one another, creates a community where I had somewhere to stay 29 stops in a row, creates a community where I had people to interview throughout 7 weeks. Social capital can be as simple as looking up from your phone rather than when you're walking to class and talking to the person beside you, having a conversation with someone new, or reconnecting with an old friend. Understanding that yes, there might be a millionaire in this room, but I'm more interested in who in here has the potential to impact 1 million lives. Who in here wants to go out and actually make a difference and be the positive contribution to their community that they wish to be? So what did I learn after all of this? This entire 7 weeks, 8,344 miles. The first, be 100% absolutely sure that you have the right deadline. But when you do miss that deadline, and it's okay, take a deep breath and sit down with someone. Sit down with someone you know who knows your strengths, who might be able to help you brainstorm a new thing that you can do. Create your own opportunities. Create things for yourself. And it's okay to go all the way to Mount Rushmore just to pretend to pick the past president's nose. And it's okay to go to the Grand Canyon only for it to be practically hailing and for you to laugh at yourself. Don't take yourself too seriously. Understand that life is funny. My summer was built on laughter. And I promise you, your experiences will be richer if you do that as well. And remember people like Mina. Remember to extend your age range. Some of my favorite interviews this summer took place with 9-year-olds and 85-year-olds. People 2 or 3 times my age, like I said earlier, have an opportunity to teach me things that I wouldn't have been able to learn otherwise, that my peers can't teach me. Experiences that they've had that they can then share with me and I can take with me for the rest of my life. And when life hands you a detour, embrace it. Go to Corn Palace if there's free admission and learn some random facts about corn that you'll most likely never need to know. Or go to SeaWorld if you get a half-off ticket. And pull over and get sandwiches at some hole-in-the-wall restaurant, and then pull over and have a picnic a couple blocks later, because it might be some of the prettiest places you stop all summer. And when life lands you on the top of a bus, parked outside of a yurt, in the middle of the New Mexico mountains, embrace it. Appreciate the stars, and remember that life is beautiful. This was one stop on a journey that I could have never predicted. For me, that journey was the Driven. But what will it be for you? Thank you.